Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're going to talk to Ryan Thompson about 10th Mountain Distillery's 10th anniversary celebration. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Darren McElroy, Della, and Ryan Thompson.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, y'all.
Hello, guys. Hey, so yeah, we're going to be talking about 10th Mountain, their 10th anniversary. Very cool stuff. They had a big party, big blowout. We want to find out how that went and what's been going on, and congratulate Ryan on an amazing 10 years. That's a milestone for any company. Making it to 10 years, that's a big deal. So we'll talk about all that and more after the break. For right now, Darren said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, sir?
So I won't get too much into the moment that sparked the small talk because either me or Steve will bring it up. When was the last time you had a moment in your life that you were like, damn, that was really cool, and not a lot of people have done this before?
I already talked about
I had that moment just today, actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, so I'm coming in hot from Glacier National Park, and there's a lake there called Lake McDonald. I think it's probably on most of the postcards of Glacier National Park.
Mm-hmm.
You stand there at the west entrance, and we're looking east over this lake at this mountain range. It is absolutely breathtaking. And I was sitting there. It makes you feel tiny. And I don't think there's a lot of people in the world that there's a lot of people that have stood there, yes, but not a lot of people comparatively. It is just a sight to see, and it really puts a lot of things in perspective. So I'll throw that one out there just a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good one. That lake is gorgeous.
I've certainly had a lot of things happen from the world of bourbon that have been, I can't believe I get to do this and all that. But I'm going to talk about one I've got coming up that I'm pretty excited about. That's not a lot of people get to do. So there's an event in December in St. Louis at the Fox Theater, which is a great theater if you ever get the opportunity to go to that. Historic, very cool. Something that they, if they decided to build today, it would, most organizations couldn't even afford to do it. It's one of those just old school theaters that was built overly ornate and stuff like that. And it's just really a cool place. But they're going to be doing a screening of Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase is going to be there.
Wow.
He's going to introduce it. Afterwards, he's going to do a Q&A with the audience. And if you paid a couple extra bucks, you can do a meet and greet with Chevy after the thing. And I told the warden, I said, get those meet and greet tickets. And she did.
Yeah.
I was out of town. She scored them. So I get to meet him. And I'm just looking forward to it. I know that, and I'm sure he'll be, on Great Behavior, meeting fans and stuff like that. I hear that, he's a tool on movie sets and TV shows, whatever. I don't think we're going to get any of that at a meet and greet. And the guy's made me laugh for over 50 years. I mean, I watched the first season of Saturday Night Live. I was I'm 7 years old or something like that. So what a great chance it is, opportunity. I've always liked his movies, Caddyshack and all that kind of stuff. Enjoyed them on Saturday Night Live and enjoyed the Christmas Vacation. That's my favorite Christmas movie. And I'm really looking forward to that. And not many people get that chance to do all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So
That's cool as hell. That.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Becca, what about you? What?
I already had mine. Mine was last week on
Last week?
Saturday. The Icons dinner was.
Get
Yeah, the
people
Icons.
drinking
Like
here.
that.
A whole group of industry professionals. Yeah.
And actually, you want to know the coolest part? Not the cool. This isn't the coolest part, but when we got there, we'd been working all day at the festival, and so we needed to change into like Icons dinner appropriate attire. And so I just walked up to the house with a handful of clothes, and I saw Sandy No, and I said, "Hello, Sandy. I'm Rebecca Neely. Is there can I change clothes in your house somewhere?" and I was like, and Royce as well. And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Just go into our bedroom." And so we got to change clothes
That is so damn cool.
in Jim Beam's bedroom, by the way.
right.
It was,
and that's the
where
same bed. That's
Jim
the
Beam
same
died
bed.
in there, I think.
Jim
too.
Beam died in that bed. Booker No died in that bed after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
That's the bed that's
we
still there.
changed clothes in there,
Yeah.
and like me and Royce were just like, "Oh my god!" Like, we were,
Yeah.
That's
and
wild.
like the dinner was cool, but honestly,
Just changing in the bedroom.
changing
was,
clothes in there was pretty.
how many people get to do that?
No, no one.
That's last name's not Bean.
Yeah, or no.
Or no, yeah.
Freddie No probably's never got changed in that bedroom.
Probably not since he was a baby.
Maybe when he was a baby. Maybe when he was a baby, he got changed in there.
So that was pretty fucking cool. That was a like, I bet a lot of people have not got to do this kind of moment.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool. Della, how about you? Any you ever find yourself in a situation you're like, wow, this is pretty crazy. Not a lot of people get to do this.
Well, I don't know if not a lot of people get to do it, but I've been like trying to check off like my list, my bucket list of things or events that I want to go to. And for years, I always wanted to go to Art Basel, which they have one in Paris, and they have one in Africa, and they have one in Miami. And in December, I went to the Art Basel in Miami, and I loved it because it was on my list. It was something I always wanted to do. You get to see artists of people, you know, the works of artists that you've loved for a long time. You get to see their stuff up front and personal. Then there were actual some of the artists that were there.
Yeah, that's cool.
To meet and
That's
greet
cool.
people, and they were acting like normal people. They weren't acting like, you know, I look at them like celebrities, but they were just like, yeah, you know, come look at my work. And some of that stuff, of course, I couldn't afford it. And then just to watch the art world up close, like people walking around in these little black suits, and they have these rich people with them, and they're like going up to different pieces of art and picking out the art for the person. Like the person, I'm too rich to pick out my own art. I have this person here with me. That's telling me what art
Ryan
I
has
should
one of
buy.
those people. Yeah, he has a person who buys his art for him.
So that was
get it.
really nice. That was really nice. I got a chance to do that. I don't know if I want to do it again, but I'm glad that I got a chance to say that I did it because I always wanted to do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Darren, how about you, man? You asked a
So
question.
the other one, the one that I'm thinking of happened on the last Foolproof Friday that we had at the shop. And Colleen Young, who just won an Olympic medal over in
It's true.
Paris, came in and brought that in. And it was like the coolest thing ever. Like it's sitting in there watching it happen. And like I went to high school with her. I was a couple years older than her. Her brother was in my grade. And it was just a cool moment all around. And everyone was excited. Hogan Miller had just walked in and he didn't know what was going on. And he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, that's an Olympic medal sitting right there. And he goes, oh shit. Like this is a cool place. It was honestly so cool.
Yeah. I've known her mom since I was 16. So, and I'm 56 now, so I've known her mom for 50 years, and it's crazy to think about. We worked at a grocery store together. She's older than me, so she was, kind of she was a checker, I was a bagger. She was the cool older woman there for us. She's probably 18 or 19. And everybody was like, "Oh man, Bridget, yeah." And but then she left before me, and then I left there, and then I went to work at the corporate job, and lo and behold, she's there, a different last name. And, I hadn't seen her in like 10 years. And I was like, Bridget. There's not too many Bridgets anyway, and especially of my age. I think Bridget's a kind of a popular name these days, but people of my age, it wasn't that popular. And I was like, that really looks like her. I wonder if so one day I just asked her after I'd been there for like a month, and sure enough, that was her. And it was cool. And then she has Colleen, so I've known Colleen since she's been born. We used to have these summer parties, and Colleen would come over as a little kid, and now to see her, winning Olympic medal is amazing. So she's in Paralympics. She suffers from albinism. She's an albino, and that affects your vision. So she's legally blind, though she can see, but just not like us. So she swims, and she's been able to have this amazing career, in the Olympics. And
cool.
She brought this was her third time going to them. Was that right?
I think her fourth time, actually.
Fourth time.
That's wild, actually.
Yeah. So yes, and to win, at her age now, she's 26, so she's starting to get old for a swimmer, but she won the bronze, and it was cool. She brought it into the shop, and we got to all hold it and see it. It's super heavy. I mean, you see those things. I mean, they look like they're big, but you assume that they're kind of pretty. That thing is heavy, like I don't know, a couple pounds. Yeah. I mean, it's heavy. So
it was crazy.
Yeah, and it has a piece of the Eiffel Tower on it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, the background is when they refurbished it, they cut off some of that, and that's and incorporated in the metal. So yeah, it was just cool. And she's a little bit media savvy, so I just asked her. I did a short video of us, everybody looking at the medal, and then I asked her. I was like, "What was it like winning this thing?" And she's like, "It was nice, but I really wish I had a shot of bourbon."
It was perfect. It was like the perfect moment.
Right. It was like we set that up, but we didn't. She just said that, so yeah, it was cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that was a neat moment for sure. So I loved it. She loved it because when she came in, we had a whole crew there because it's Friday when a lot of the regulars come in, and we had everybody stood up and then clapped, and then she started shouting USA, USA, USA. So she walked into that, and she thought that was pretty cool because I touched base with her mom via text afterwards. She was like, "Colleen really liked that. That was fun. So thank you guys for doing that." So that was cool.
Love it.
It was very cool. So there you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We'll start with Ryan this time. Let's see if Ryan's playing the game here or he's got another 50 mil. What do you got there, buddy?
Well, I got on the road, and then the show notes came out, and I realized quickly that the topic of the night, and I had gotten out of the house, and I'm in a state that doesn't carry us, so I did not have a chance to go by and pick anything up. So just going to throw it back to our friends at Whistling Andy. Okay, just keep it simple here, so I can actually have a cork pop.
Okay.
As good as I can get, at least.
That for you, it's good. I feel like you missed an opportunity because your microphone's better than it normally is where you're at right now. And but you just so.
Yeah, I think it's the room I'm in, right. And certainly missed opportunity. We'll just chalk it up to that.
You know the owner of that distillery? What's the deal with Whistling Andy? I would assume it's from the Andy Griffith Show because it starts out with that the show tune is whistled, so I assume Whistling Andy is a nod to that. But I don't know.
I don't think it is. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Actually,
is one of the owners named Andy or something?
No, the owner's name is Lisa and Brian. So I don't know, Akeley.
I have no idea.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah, get some top people on that. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go to Darren. He looks ready to go. What do you got there, buddy?
I got some 17-year-old light whiskey from Rye 3.
Okay.
Finished in a honey cask.
Okay. Better than Ryan's. Pretty bad. So Della, there's not. It's pretty low bar here that you got to beat. What do you got?
I don't know. I just have some Elijah Craig straight rye.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say that's our lead. We're gonna give you the nod for the lead. You see if you can do this. I've got Grandpa's truck here from Nobleton's Distilling House, or the one that was done for Jim Fosnot. So it was a tribute to Jim, which is kind of cool. And yeah, let's see what we got.
I like that bottle.
It's cool, right?
That's it.
I think
So
that's
far,
the
you're the
lead.
leader.
That's the lead. Maybe Beka will go
Terrible.
sample.
The door is open though.
Terrible.
The door's open. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to beat there. Let's see what you got.
I've got
The Angel's
some
Envy then?
Angel's Envy here. I don't really know anything about it. Oh, finished in port wine barrels.
Just the normal Angel's Envy, it sounds. No, not enough. And it was sloshy at the end, by the way.
Yep. Slosh.
Technique was off there.
Yes.
Thank you guys for pulling out your 10th Mountain bottles tonight for the topic of conversation. That's real kind of you to do. Here's to that. Nicely done,
You think
guys.
we think ahead?
He brings up a good point.
I had a good excuse. I'm in a different
Yeah.
state. And I
Yeah,
got
no.
after I left the
Yeah,
house.
that's
I'll take us out to break, popping a 10th dry whiskey here. So that's what that would have sounded like. Here we go. I still would have won.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's better than about everyone. So
good.
we should have done it.
I should have done that. I messed up. Admittedly, I messed up there. So yeah, there you go. All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking to Ryan about the big 10th Mountain 10th anniversary. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
Hi, this is Rick Brenner, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Shouldn't it be the legend?
Maybe.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking to Ryan Thompson about the 10th Mountain 10th anniversary.
Yes, we are. So, Ryan, tell us about this, man. What were the festivities? What happened for the big 10th Mountain 10th anniversary party? Because it was a big blowout party.
Well, it is a bit of a tongue twister, so nicely done on the intros there, guys. Thank you. We did blow it up a little bit. Leading into it about 3 months previous, we were kind of on the fence if we were going to do something or not. And then finally I just said, screw it, let's do something. And we ended up getting 3 good-sized bands to it, a couple food trucks to it, 4 different military nonprofits, a military book author that wrote a great book about veteran PTSD called Photos Taken Someday, Nate Parks. We got a 10th Mountain vet that owns this kick-ass knife company called Scorpion 6 Knives to come up from Arizona. Makes some incredible knives. And then we had a couple activations ourselves. We did a blind tasting, and if you could pick out a bourbon, a rye, a single malt, and a brandy, then you would get a free cocktail. Then we had a 10th Mountain quiz station, not only a 10th Mountain whiskey quiz station, but a 10th Mountain history Army Division station. We had a cigar roller come up from Denver for it. She was great and really entertained a lot of people. And then, of course, all the long games, plenty of cocktails. And then we had a couple of special barrel picks that we did with Black and Said distiller Rob Dietrich, who is a 10th Mountain vet, who was the head distiller at Stranahan's for a long time. And then he's been leading Blacken for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure exactly when he got on board with those guys. But so he came up on July 4th and did a barrel pick with Sean and I for a bourbon, a rye, and single malt. So I got to release that night as well. So
Nice.
Yeah. And I saw you've got the special edition corks too. Is that part of the 10th anniversary or is that just something?
Yeah, exactly, Steve. So thanks. But there's a 10th Mountain statue that sits right across Gore Creek, 30 yards away from our tasting room. And it's a 13-foot tall 10th Mountain statue from commemorating the soldiers in the 1940s for World War II. There's one other statue out there like it, and then it's based at Stowe, Vermont. And so we shrunk that statue and put it on a cork, much like Blanton's does with their horse, that same kind of weight, that same kind of material. And so, unfortunately, we just had samples come in for the anniversary party, and we're still waiting on the actual orders to come in, but it should be in any time. And those are going on top of our anniversary picks.
Okay.
There's been a lot of interest in them since we released it on social a couple days ago. And so we'll see if we get convinced to sell them online or not. Or maybe they're just going to go on top of the special barrel picks and see what happens. So we'll see.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. So I think everybody's really interested in that. That's good. That's going to be a winner for you when those come in. I think there'll be high demand to get those. So
we can talk to you guys about maybe doing a barrel pick with those and send some out to you, man. That'd be great.
We'd be in for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come us in for sure.
Cool.
That's
yeah, absolutely. Cool. So a great way to commemorate the 10-year, an awesome way to honor the veterans, a great way to thank our whole team that's been around us for 10 years. We had a lot of ex-employees come in town for it, come up from Denver for it, show up for it. So that was a hell of a lot of fun. And then, hell, I woke up on Monday morning after the weekend and after all the festivities had died down and everyone had departed. And I was like, well, shit, we got work to do. It's not done yet.
Right.
We got to keep at it, right?
Yeah, you got to keep going for the next 10 years. So yeah.
So I have a two-part question.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
First, I want you to think a little bit back to 10 years ago when you started the distillery. Did you ever think you were gonna make it 10 years? Was that really a realistic thought you had? Because that is a
we're
long
trying to make
time.
it day by day, Darren. Day by day, buddy. You know, and wildest hopes and dreams. Yeah, you're gonna make it 10 years. Hell, we're gonna make it 20, 30, and on down the line. But it's a day by day, bottle by bottle business. We can all attest to, no matter what side of the bottle you're on, right? And so, no, I certainly wasn't going to start this and not think I was going to make it 10 years. By no means would I ever do something like that. So I certainly think I had 10 years in me. I didn't know it was going to be as big of a challenge as it has been necessarily. Certainly learned a lot of lessons and certainly has been tougher than I ever thought it would be. But yeah, I guess in my wildest dreams, I thought I would make it 10 years.
Yeah. And then the second part is, what can we expect in the next 10 years besides more great whiskey? Do you have anything that you're working on or anything interesting, different that you're going to do in the next 10?
Yeah, Darren, we always have a couple things lying down, and certainly we had a barrel lying down from 10 years ago and had cracked that thing. And we'll see next time we get one of us to come out to Arnold, Missouri. We'll have to bring one out with us and share it with you guys. Talk about a fun hazmat bottle. It's delicious. So I don't know, Darren. We're in a unique location where more and more of our barrels are above that 140 proof, And so we might start releasing some more hazmat bottles. And so
well, that's
we'll see how that goes. We have a couple experiments lying down, like any distillery does, I think. And so those are a lot of fun. We'll see if we end up bottling those and distributing them or just selling them at our tasting rooms. But still just trying to grow the brand, get more and more recognition, and then trying to grow this thing day by day. So.
Okay, that's cool.
How many states are you guys in?
We're technically distributed in 20 states.
Wow.
A handful of those are extremely low volume because we just opened those states within the last 2, 3, 4 months. And so, although it might be a number that's growing in size at 20 states, and it might sound decent, but a lot of those are low volume, and so it's just a matter of getting our foot in the door and trying to grow slowly but surely. So
you got to start somewhere, so that makes sense.
Yeah. What else you guys want to know from Ryan?
For our third party, and I think they're reaching consumers in 40 states or so right now. So, Della, we can buy it. You can get us direct to consumer in Arizona. We don't have distribution, traditional distribution there yet, but you can certainly go on the website and get a bottle shipped to you through our third party. So.
I will, so that I can tell people that I know the person personally. I love being able to say that every time. I love whenever I post a cocktail, like when I post, I'm in a cocktail group on Facebook, and whenever I post something that I made with like Rebecca's, I'm going to call it Your Absinthe. And they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like, where'd you get that from? It's a friend of mine. I mean, you can get it, but
it's a friend of mine.
Just want to throw that out there that I know.
Of course.
That I know this person.
Most Della answer possible right there.
It is.
Love it.
So I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about the 10th anniversary, you were talking about all the stuff that you all did, and it sounded like it was a lot. How long did it take you to get all that together?
Yeah, I think we pulled the trigger on doing it and started brainstorming ideas about 3 months in advance.
Okay.
And then took 2 people off our team to start focusing on that. And obviously the pressure builds up as the day gets a little closer and gets a little closer. We also had 2 security guards hired. We off-duty sheriffs from Eagle County. We had a designated driver with a 15-passenger van going up and down the area. So trying to be responsible in that regard.
Nice.
But yeah, Della, I mean, it was a lot, just all the minute details leading up to the thing. So we planned it 3 months in advance, and then it just, the pressure builds as the date gets closer. So.
Do you solicit people to come, like you were talking about the woman who was rolling the cigars? Does she approach you guys, or do you approach her?
For the cigars in particular, we approached her.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she says, hey, I'm going to come up and roll 40 cigars in 3 hours, and we can sell them at whatever price point you want, but I'm going to charge you X. And so I think we put on $4 or $8 or $4 or $6 of what she was charging us to charge our guest. And so we were able to make a little bit of money back on her fee. And she drove 2 hours, and she stayed for the night afterwards, and then drove back 2 hours, because we're 2 hours away from Denver, and that's where she was coming from. Cigar rolling itself is just an art form.
It is.
That is a cool thing to have at one of these festivals. You said that, and I was
when
like,
I
haven't
said the
seen
same
that
thing
before, but that is a really good idea.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. We had a leather branding station there too. So we had bought, I think, 108 rocks glasses with a leather wrapped logo around the glass. And then the company that provided that showed up and did some leather branding on those glasses, so people could brand their initials or brand their heart and their initials and significant other, or whatever kind of logo they wanted to go with. So that was another activation we had. So awesome. Yeah, certainly a lot of details leading up to it. And we had, I mean, it was all hands on deck, besides the people that were in our tasting room in Vail Village, making sure that stayed open, because it was Oktoberfest up in that location. So a lot of things going on there. So we kept that open, but everybody else was all hands on deck. And we had out of 12, 13, 14 people, full-time guys and gals that were there helping out, manage the party as well. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. This is a story that I just want to tell, because Ryan, it just shows you what kind of a person he is. As he's getting ready for all this, you just heard about what's all involved in all that. Literally, as the time is getting up to that, he calls me. And I couldn't be there. I'd like to have been there, and that would have been ideal, but I wasn't. And he called me just to say, "Hey, thank you for being my friend for all these years, and it's been fun watching your company." And we've known each other. Ryan's one of the people that I've known the longest because the first thing I ever did in bourbon was I wrote this book and I interviewed owners of 20 distilleries. It was a craft bourbon book. And that was the first thing before podcasting, before newsletters, all that kind of stuff. Ryan was part of that. And it's when he was just getting his company going, I was just kind of would ultimately be starting what would be, again, my bourbon journey. And he maintained contact ever since. He was one of the few. I keep. There's 3 friends that I have from writing that book. Out of the 20 that are featured, there's 3 that I maintain pretty good contact with, and Ryan the most out of all 3 of them. So it's been great, and he just always reached out. Even you write the book and you're kind of done. That relationship's over, so it makes some sense if I don't talk to the other folks in there. It's nothing against them. It's just you write the book and it's once it comes out, it's over. And but as I started doing things, writing newsletters and all, he was like he started subscribing and following it, and he'd always send me a nice note. Hey, this is cool. I'm glad you're doing that, and start the podcast. That's cool. And so but it just shows you on what had to be an incredibly busy day to take some time and to reach out. It really should have gone the other way. It should have been me trying to get a hold of you, saying, "Hey, man, it's a big day for you. Congratulations," and all that. I know. I feel bad as I got that call. That I felt bad because I was like, "Damn it, that should be me calling him. Yeah. It's his big day. Why is he calling me?" Yeah.
Well, I think, Akeley, I appreciate those kind words, but and I think everyone on the call can attest to it, is that the industry we're in and the relationships that we've all made over the time that we've been in the industry is probably the most valuable thing. Mm-hmm. And the friendships that come up, that come from it, the camaraderie that comes from it, I think that's the most important thing. It's just overall in the industry. And so I think that's a testament to that, man. Me just thanking you, bud, and thanking you for all your support, and to myself, and I'm sure the Neelys feel the same way. And I think everyone in the industry that you support and talk about, man, it's it's a good relationship across the board. So
yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun
because I end up relying on whatever you think I've done. If you think I've in any way made any impact on the industry, it's always because of people like Ryan and Royce and Beka and all my friends in the industry and people like Della. I mean, writing for Bourbon Zeppelin for 8 years, that's a big deal. How much does Della get paid for that? Nothing. No one gets paid for working on Bourbon Zeppelin. It's a passion. It's finding people who are passionate about one opportunity to write and that makes collectively all that stuff comes together, and it's like, how much can Steve do and how much is it? Well, I do a lot because I've got a lot of people help me along the way. Becca's on this podcast every Sunday. McNew's on this podcast with me every Friday. You guys are taking time away from your schedules. Della's writing an article for me every month, and that gets to be a grind. It's like the first 2, 3, 5 of them. It's almost intoxicating. It's so much fun to write. And then when you got to do it every month for 8 years, like Della, it's like, man, this is kind of a job. So I get it. So, but yeah, but it's a great industry. It really is. It truly is a lot of fun and good people for sure. And that's what makes it. And that's what I've always been about, is introducing people to that. We just did some barrel picks on Saturday, and there was 20 people that we brought on barrel picks, and probably 16 of them, it was their first barrel pick that they've ever done. And that's the stuff that we always do. We take people to distilleries where they haven't been, behind the scenes, and to meet people and all that kind of. I had a buddy go this weekend on a great behind the scenes trip at a distillery and a restaurant. It didn't work out too well for me having him go, but for him, he got this great VIP treatment, so
for him it was great.
Yeah.
He had a great time.
Some would say free, actually.
Yeah, he might have had 2 great.
When we say VIP, he was getting everything for free. Whether intentional or not.
Right. It's a whole story, folks. It's an inside joke at this point, but yeah, it's a whole story that goes on there. And,
I remember when I first started traveling and going to all the festivals and the brewery openings and the beer releases, and in the beginnings when I was doing like a lot of like throwing the ABV network around. And this is like in the beginning stages when like there wasn't a lot of things. There wasn't like a lot of podcasts and this and that. And I would just show up to places that maybe Steve had like called ahead and sent out like a short email just saying like, I've got my expert
Right.
and in barrel aged beers, and she'll be in your town and she wants to show up for your festival. And they were like, yeah, we'll give her a couple of VIP tickets. And I used to like take that and run with it and show up to places and be like, yeah, I'm with the ABV network. And they would feel stupid if they didn't know what it was. So they'd be like, yeah, I know. I heard of them and I love it. I love you guys. I love you guys at the ABV network. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm here with them. And
Right.
and here's my VIP. And they're like, how? And I had friends in the beer that were in like the seriously like brewers and in the beer industries and had microbreweries. And I'm like, how the hell did you get here with a VIP pass? And I'm like, I'm here with the ABV network. Like,
that's why we call like whenever we do something where we're like making people like appreciate our VIP
our presence.
Yeah, say we're like. It's like you're calling on your inner Della Fane to just be like, no, do you know who I am?
Della taught us how to do that. Della's taught us how to do that.
me and Tony talked about it at the festival. I was like, I was like just pretending I was Della. I'm like, no, I don't need to scan my pass.
I'm here already.
You should know who I am.
You don't know who I am?
Yeah. And I'm just like, what the hell? Get out of here.
That was so much fun. The beginning, that was just so much fun because I would really just throw that name out there like it just like, yeah, I'm here with ABV, and then people who should have had VIP passes that didn't would be like, where'd you get your VIP pass from? I'm like, it's press. It's a press VIP.
Della, man, I dropped that name like earlier. I dropped that name, but they charged me double when I did it. I must be doing it wrong. I don't know.
They
I got thrown out of place for once for saying it. They're like, nope, you're not allowed in here.
That's right.
Damn Neely Family Distillery.
I got to get out there more. I got to get out and do more things, get my face out there. I went to Michter's the other time. I sit down and have a drink, and then they give me the bill. I was like, whoa. I never had to pay for a drink at Michter's before. I need to start getting out more again. I haven't been on the road enough here.
No kidding.
Do you know who I am? No, I just paid it. I just paid it. Yeah. That was embarrassing. I had to pay for a drink.
What do you mean?
You didn't even like bring your wallet in.
How do you do this? Okay, what's next? I owe you money. How do we do this? I've never done this before.
How do I do? Do I tap? I don't know how this works.
You accept
where do we go from
delivering a check?
She hands me that little plastic thing with the piece of paper, and I'm like, what's going on here? What is it? Yeah, what are you doing?
That's how your friend wanted to act this past weekend. He didn't realize that he is not you, Steve.
Right.
You're not Steve Akeley, buddy.
He's got warrants out for his arrest, I think. It might have been a felony level he
Just
took so much.
He's stealing.
It was close.
Yeah. He's pushing that felony amount. So so we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. So there you go. Well, good times, and there you go. We'll wrap this one up, as we always do, by talking about where people can find us. Darren, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me being the worst person ever at dropping Steve's name. I cannot do it good. At The Bourbon Adventures.
Yeah, he met Fred and Freddie at Beam.
Didn't say a thing. There. I know.
I'm like, did you say you work for me?
You didn't tell him you worked for Steve?
I know. I should have, okay? I messed up.
He's like, next time.
Yeah.
Out of all the people.
I know those guys well, so yeah, that would have been great.
Also didn't say it when I met Fonte. That was probably also a mess up.
And that's actually, it's good for me when people do stuff like that, because then it gets my name out there further. Next thing you know, I don't have to pay for my drinks at Michter's again, because this guy's everywhere. It's like when you're there, it's like, oh, there's an Akeley guy, so there's Akeley guys everywhere. So do you pay for this drink at Michter's? No, sir. Your money's so good.
I would totally lead with that. Yeah, I'm going to go way back with Steve.
Right.
I'm not even dropping your last name. I'm just saying.
Just Steve.
Steve. See, there's the tip I needed. Just say Steve.
They better know. Right.
Well, they'll know. So there you go. Della, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Untapped at 6 Feet of Dynamite.
Ryan.
I do talk about Steve Akeley and the ABV Network and the Bottle Shop quite often on other podcasts, just FYI.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Good.
And you can find us at across all socials at 10th MTN Whiskey, and our website is 10thwhiskey.com. That's 10th Whiskey with an E, and hopefully going to be around another 10 years to keep at it here, guys. I appreciate the support out there.
Cheers to that.
Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We are online, abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.